Yeah, that just happened in Springfield, Ohio, and it's a problem. Now, in this country, we accept about 1,000 train derailments a year. It should not be acceptable. You have the current Secretary of Transportation, one of the first things out of his mouth when he was being critiqued and held to account over what happened in East Palestine. He said, oh, but we have about 1,000 a year. And I know people are paying attention to East Palestine, but, we have 1,000 a year. Let me tell you something, we shouldn't accept it. We should not accept it from any administration. So, when you know better, you ought to do better. We know better and we ought to do better. Professor, I see you wanting to really jump on in here. Go ahead.
Because listen, some dots just went off, right? Wasn't a few months ago, it was the railroad workers that was trying to, get a day off?
Yes.
Wasn't it the same people, right? So you showed us the receipts that showed that this industry been experiencing record high profits, correct?
Correct.
So when we recognize that the individuals these record high profits been made off of, you said that somebody that you talked to said that they should be only carrying 4 carts. I'm 32 years old. In my 32 years of living, I've never seen a short train with only 4 carts. Whether they was carrying cargo, humans, cars, tires, or hazardous materials, I've never seen that before. So go back to why I was like, come back.
Come back.
The individuals that was doing the majority of this labor that's taking the highest risk and making it where they can't go home to their family. The ones that's carrying 30 of the trains is like,
yeah,
what's going on?
I mean, the East Palestine train, it was 150 cars long. And what this intellectual is saying, who really studies and looks at these things, what he is saying is that if you are going to transport hazardous materials, then you need to make sure that the car, that you limit the number of cars so that if something happens, you limit the damage. And I'm like, Eureka, that makes a whole lot of sense. Why them geniuses, in the Congress can't think of that? You know why they can't think of that? Because they control by their owner donors.
But take care of your labor force too. Take care of your labor force. The same individuals that was parading that type of policy are the same people that in election time that's gonna try to convince you and I they care about working class Americans. They're gonna try to convince you and I they care about poor working Americans and rural Americans. And we seen in terms of the impact of this policy that is not true. So when we say take care of the workers, it's like, hey, the individuals that are literally risking their lives for you to experience record high profits, why do they have to protest and go to the highest courts of the field to be able to get a day off? They ain't even asking for a raise.
Come on.
Why ain't even in one of the highest paying industries?
Yeah, no, you're right about that. They shouldn't have to protest. And don't forget, we both are old enough to remember last year, the 117th Congress stopped, and this president stopped them from being able to use the strongest tool in their toolbox, which is to be able to go on strike. And you know what they said? That the economy would just, okay, we get it. So if the economy would just explode, why not give those workers what they were asking for?
Because you don't value their labor. And we and to me, not only don't value their labor, you see that the individuals that do that type of labor, they seen as being exposable and disposable. Literally, hey, when we talking about the midterms of the national election, all I'm saying is small town America, regardless of your gender, regardless of your race, regardless of your industry. If you live in small town America, was born in small town America like I was, remember who remembered you in these times of needs. Remember that.
Come on, remember that. There should be a consequence at the ballot box. Remember who actually cared about you. And Professor, I went to East Palestine. I mean, the fear and the anger was thick. You could cut it. And those people have a right to be angry and fearful all at the same time. So look, Professor Snyder, another professor, he hit the nail on the head with his tweet. This is what he tweeted. Maybe deregulating everything and letting public infrastructure decay was a mistake. Just maybe it was, Professor Snyder. You did that very simply. It didn't take a whole lot of words to make it plain that maybe that kind of stuff does not work. And then my stunt double, she had this to say on social media. Nationalize the railroads. Just go and do that. Just go and put an end to this foolishness and mayhem right here. Because as long as it is commodified, these railroad companies are going to continue to do what they do to thwart the ability of folks to be able to live a good life in these small communities, and also from the workers. They're gonna continue to stop the workers from being safe. And then none of us are safe. So that's what we're saying. We rocking and rolling here.